alone, I'm a lone wolf. I'm a lone wolf.
We are back for match 1, game 2 of VCT Game Changers Academy September edition. I'm your host and caster right now, Saki,
Woo!
along with Zach. Zach, let's go ahead and recap a little bit of map 1, which was Icebox. How did that go?
It went very, very stunningly for the side of tactical throwers. It was their map pick. They ended up having a dominating 8-4 defense half, and once they switched over to attack, I don't think they dropped a single round. They managed to close it out 13-4, 5 rounds in a row victories on attack, and the highlight player for them is going to be Seder, if I'm not wrong. 29 kills to her name. Unfortunately, couldn't get that 30 bomb at the end, but the rest of her team was there for the backup, able to close it out. But I think for the side of ID Ruby, two players that did stand out for me were Sekia as well as Envy, I believe, if I'm not wrong, they're Jet players. So heading into map number 2, which is going to be their pick, which is going to be Haven, I'm hoping that we see a better showing coming in from them, because I felt like on Icebox there was just a lot of mental trauma really behind them, because it's not something that they're really. It's a map that they've had a lot of negative history with tactical throwers before, and perhaps that's why.
And you were telling me how tactical throwers sort of struggled a little bit on Haven, and ID Ruby was a team that picked Haven. So something I want to see come out is that controller player, because a controller is so heavy and so important to have on a map like Haven with 3 sites to its name.
Definitely. Especially, there's versatility in the controllers as well. Astra, she gives you only 4 smokes, but she also lets you use those orbs in a variety of ways. You can use them as a stun, you can use them as a pull. You've seen Astra's come in clutch so many times when the spike is being tapped and attempted to being diffused. So I think that Astra definitely does have a lot of value, considering that her util is universal as well. No matter where you are on the map, you're gonna be able to put down stars across the map. Even if you're in A heaven, you're gonna be able to smoke off C long just like that, as long as you have a star in your arsenal. However, an argument can be made that Omen is also an agent that finds a great deal of value on this particular map, because number one, his shadow step gives him a lot of versatility in setting himself up on elevations that can let him get those first kills, and of course his ultimate really helps in rotations as well. But talking about predictions for this map, I think that it could honestly go either way. I think the tactical throwers, they have a love-hate relationship with this map before, and that could be something that ID Ruby capitalize on. But tactical throwers, they also have that buff coming in of winning that first map in such a dominating fashion. So I think it could genuinely go either way.
Again, I wouldn't be disappointed if I saw a chamber coming out from tactical throwers, and I know how they're going to capitalize on it. But again, I'm rooting for ID Ruby here. I want them to play that chamber as well. Maybe not another mirror composition, but just trying to capitalize on every single agent and utility they have, especially with things like post plant. And I do think that agents are ready, so let's go ahead and make our way into that, Zach.
Indeed, it's going to be the case, and well, for tactical throwers, I think that the names are a little bit interchanged, but yes, for tactical throwers, it is going to be Kaya sticking to her tried and tested chamber. Seder is going to be swapping out and picking up that raise instead, and Juna is going to be swapping over from the Sova to the Fade as well. This raid fade combo we've seen quite a bit, having a lot of value. And an initial initiator support is going to be coming in from EOS, and the controller of choice is going to be Starry, swapping from that Viper to the Omen. But looking at the team comp for ID Ruby, what can you tell us here, Saki?
Well, ID Ruby, of course, they are starting on defense. We're seeing Envy coming out with the Neon. I think that I have quite a love-hate relationship with Neons, especially with their ultimate. But then again, we're also going to be seeing ID Ruby potentially making their way towards different sites like C, B, and A. And something I'm noticing here is that ID Ruby, there's 3 on B, ready to push up, I guess. What can you say about this, Zach?
I mean, all right. There is going to be a little bit of tactical thrower celebration into her spawn, but yeah, like you're saying, it is a little bit of a push attempts coming in towards mid, I believe, from ID Ruby. They want to start things off aggressively. 4 players grouped up outside near a garage and be ready to go out. If they hear anything, the flash and Envy's push is gonna be coming through. His flash is good though, gonna be catching 2 players, and Lucky and Nina are both gonna be able to capitalize. They walk away with the woman advantage, so as to speak. It's all down to just Juna gets one, gets the second as well. It's going to come back down to a 1v1. She knows the position of this last player. It is going to be Sekia, who was I think the MVP for ID Ruby and the second overall fragger on the scoreboard. So this is definitely a 1v1 clutch that is capable of being pulled off by ID Ruby. However, the position of Juna is not exactly going to be known. Sekia, though, is going to take a call and could possibly go towards that A side instead. The convergence from these players is slowly but surely happening. And if Juna is not careful, the flanker herself might end up getting flanked here. Both of these players are just going to be waiting, I suppose, Juna to see if she can find some sign of where the chamber has gone. And as for Sekia, she's just going to be waiting it out before the spike goes down so that she is sure that she's not going to be walking into an ambush. That trademark, though, is going to give away that A is going to be where the plant is coming in. Already you can see Sekia moving forward, running it down, and it seems like Juna is opting to take the early fight here. Peeks with the ghost, but Sekia towards CT just is able to find that kill. I don't think Juna expected the players to be coming in from there. Perhaps they thought it's going to be a rotation through a flank here, and off the back of that beautiful mid push, it is going to be Ruby who find that first round with that clutch from Sekia.
I think that was a rather good play from Sekia and Juna. Juna making sure that she go towards C side, but then rotating over in spawn and making their way into A. So that was a really great play, especially with Sekia making sure that they're staying on B, knowing that they should rotate. But we're also going to be seeing a force coming out from ID Ruby with Spectres, and Juna again with the Sheriff in hand. Something again I wanted to speak about was the Neon and how that movement kind of interchanged the play for a defender-sided team.
That is definitely the case, and armed with nothing but pistols on this particular round, tactical throwers, they've slowed things down a little bit. It seems like the spike is making its way towards A, where both Sekia as well as her teammate are going to be lying in wait for the push. The jump peaks from the Omen, K trying to spot out any information possible, but so far hasn't really found anything there. Towards Long, the smoke's investment towards the side is going to, however, give away the fact that this is going to be where the execute is coming. The flash is good, but K with the Spectre is better, and she's going to be able to find 2 before finally being shut down. The backup from Lucky as well is going to make things incredible. It's all down to just Starry here, goes in for the TP, spots out a player, gets that kill, but is traded out almost immediately. 2-0 right now for ID Ruby, but tactical throwers, at least they managed to get 2 of the Spectres off of the hands of these players.
Right, and getting the players with 2 Spectres to their name did quite a lot of damage to their economy now, having ID Ruby going on a bonus round and potentially Nina having a frenzy in hand. But now it's also going to be looking a little more like an A push directed from tactical throwers on the minimap here.
It is the case. They do have their full buy coming in, so it's definitely going to make things a little bit easier. Satyr already satcheling in to possibly try and avoid any utility being spammed at her. Eos as well investing that Trailblazer to catch out the chamber. But it's amazing to see that Sekia is still not really going to be TPing away, still holding onto the angle with that Headhunter. Does take a little bit of damage from that Trailblazer, I believe 30 if I'm not wrong, since it did end up biting her. But it is going to be, even with a minute left on the clock, a very slow approach for these players from tactical throwers here. The flank from Envy, though, comes in, but unfortunately is going to be caught with the knife out. And just like that, the rotation is called from tactical throwers. They're going to be heading towards the seaside instead, where there is the breach lying in the way towards the garage area. Nobody on site exactly, though the sky is rotating over. Perhaps this might be what they need to prevent the spike from going down. You can also see Nina ready with the flash, but then hearing a number of players pushing forward, does reassess and decides to go in for the retake here. A 5v4 retake round right now for tactical throwers.
And it's now up to Tactical Throwers going on a 5v4 retake, especially with Fade having ult in their hand. They're just going to play back and play for Spike.
Last player standing.
Yeah, playing for Spike indeed, like you mentioned, that Fade ultimate, tagging everyone, decaying them to a really low HP, and just the connection through the smoke with the spray, that's going to be enough to get the round. First round for Tactical Throwers in that full buy. They did lose out on 2 players, I believe, but nevertheless a great round coming in from them. However, looking at this one, it does seem like Sekia is going to be investing in that operator.
The operator, indeed. Sekia is most potentially going to hold A long here, where she knows that they could be peeking from A lobby, but Sky putting a blind out, showing their presence.
The operator is going to be towards C long. The boombot invested by Seder to possibly clear off the chamber if they are playing here. The boombot being broken is going to give away information. And off the back of that, for additional support, it is going to be none other than the Trailblazer invested as well. The pain shells catching Sekia out in this corner, doing a lot of damage to her, but she still manages to stay alive. And that is huge coming in for the side of ID Ruby. They also managed to get a pick in the meantime on the Omen Starry, I believe. So that's gonna mean no more smokes available right now for these players from Tactical Throwers. The Seekers being committed right now by ID Ruby is going to give away the position of a lot of the players towards this mid area, and Lucky will know that they're probably gonna be coming towards her if she's not careful. So looking at this particular play from Tactical Throwers, they're going to be booking it towards B side instead, seeing that they no longer have smokes to take areas like A Heaven. The Haunts will clear out the close corners. Seder satcheling past the Breach utility here. Paranoia from K though is going to be good. The TP towards the backside as well. She's not really going to be detected right now, but Envy will be able to get that first pick onto Kaya. The trades are quick though, and suddenly we're back down to a 3v3. The Seekers from EOS are going to be invested as well to figure out where exactly these players are for the side of ID Ruby, and they're gonna see multiple of them coming in on the flank towards B main, and they're just gonna be going for the C side, rotating over, getting the spike down, and now yet again ID Ruby, they're in a 3v3 retake position.
Here we are seeing Lucky with the flank 2-1 situation, knowing that they have to get the flank. They must pick them off because they can do some damage to the team.
Yeah, both the players push together and are able to take down the Sky. Envy goes down as well. It's all down to just Sekia here with 63 HP left. Swapped out the operator for a rifle, trying to see what exactly she can find, but the flash of the utility is just too much for her to deal with, and that is going to be Tactical Throwers finding their second round. The operator as well, not going to be saved by either team. At this juncture, it is going to force, I believe, the side of ID Ruby into a eco.
Absolutely, and with ID Ruby now on an eco round and on defense, we're going to potentially be seeing Tactical Throwers playing a little bit more aggressive, knowing that they have that upper hand here. But then again, Kay coming out with... Ooh, I thought I saw a Bucky, but now we're going to go for the Stinger, especially with the buff that recently happened with it.
Again, heading into this, it is going to be stingers for the side of ID Ruby, and like you mentioned, especially the thing that's really annoying is the headshot accuracy when you're scoping in. So the gun was really bad on range before now, but in range fights, but now it's actually good, and it's gotten a buff in those close range fights as well, with the bullet spray really like being produced to spread for the first 6 bullets. So it's definitely easier to connect your headshots right off the bat. It is going to be the spike going down. Juna will be able to get it down. And again, multiple ults available for Tactical Throwers if they choose to go for it in this 5v5 retake attempt from ID Ruby, but I don't think it's necessary because they know that it is going to be an eco. The spam is good right now. The overdrive though from the Neon is going to be committed despite the low HP on this particular player, and Kaya on the lurk here is going to be able to find so much value. Gets the first already. How many more can these two get is going to be the question. Kaya with 2 on the round of her own. The defuse coming through, halfway stuck, but Juna will push in time to deny it, and it's going to be a flawless round. Imagine if the defuse went through there. Oh my god.
Absolutely, and there we saw Tactical Throwers Starry using their ultimate to go back with their team, go back to the back of site to play for post plant. But now we're going to be seeing IG Ruby again meeting up with tactical throwers on their buy, with K having the ult ready.
They do have some ults available, and the full buy is back as well. Envy looking to get a little bit aggressive, spots out Seder, gets that first pick. That is huge right now, considering that I think Seder also did have that showstopper available. So definitely taking her out of the equation is a great idea. No Sage this time to get her back up either. So right off the bat, tactical throwers, they are going to be at a little bit of a tactical disadvantage. 3 players right now on this A side, making forays forward. Juna will be shot down. The Afro HP, luckily the Sky will be able to patch her back up, but in the meantime, Starry is going to catch Envy off guard, who tries to re-aggress towards a short area, and just like that, knowing that there are 2 more players on this A site, it is better to just move over instead towards B or C, especially considering that Kaya has basically managed to walk up to B main.
It is now a 4v4 situation, just trying to find a simple pick that will make space for sight and make sure that, you know, tactical throwers has the ability to push a site and get the plant down.
Kaya with another pick for tactical throwers on the lurk, though Nina is able to catch her off guard, bringing things back down to a 3v3 yet again. The Omen ult is available for ID Ruby as well as the Rolling Thunder for information, but again, these consistent flanks that keep coming through time and time again for tactical throwers. Juna is going to be on the lurk here, gets one already for herself. It's going to be a 2v2 right now. Her teammate position towards the long, will be taken down. It's all down to just Juna to close out this clutch, but it's not going to be happening as Sekia finds a shot. The retake from ID Ruby works out in their favor, and they were ready for the pushes this time. They were watching both Garage and Long, able to capitalize and find both of these kills, and unfortunately for Juna, even though she gets the first, she's not able to really close out the clutch, and that is going to be ID Ruby bringing it back 3-3.
There we are looking at back-to-back rounds with plays like defaults. We're seeing lurks coming in. We're seeing an abundant amount of utility and ultimates coming in as well as Zach. So this game is going to be really close, especially with K capitalizing on the Bulldog, yet trying to meet the teammates' buys. The Bulldog will do, but we're also going to be looking at a little bit more of an A push here, seeing the breach utility coming out and Envy holding down short.
Yeah, Envy yet again not afraid to get aggressive here with the help of that smoke. There's going to be a little bit of gap that EOS is trying to capitalize on. Lucky with the Trailblazer trying to get some more information. Will spot out one player, if not both. 2 headshots though coming in consecutively for Envy. That is huge right now for the side of ID Ruby, who have yet again managed to put a complete stall onto this push onto this A site here. Kaya with the tour de force is able to pick up that rifle and the spike, and after losing so many players, it does seem like the best option is to go somewhere new. But the problem is that if you haven't gotten any picks, you're not going to be triggering any rotations either. And right now, all the sides do have players on them. Juna trying to re-aggress on A, get a pick of her own perhaps, is not unfortunately going to find anything. It all falls down to just Kaya and Starry going towards the C side, but there's already going to be a player here. Starry does get one, but Envy with 3 on the round, those starting things off with those 2 beautiful headshots, is going to get ID Ruby the lead on this defensive half for them.
There we are seeing Juna showing presence onto A while the 2 remaining teammates are willing to push C, but unknowingly there was already one on C waiting for their push, but now again it's looking like a C push rather than an A, just switching it up a little bit, and 2 ultimates available for both teams.
Here.
Yeah, they do have the tour de force for Sekia, who is going to be popping in this particular round towards C long here. The economy is in a bit of a rough spot for tactical throwers right now. The jump peaks not exactly going to be pushing the player off the angle. The Nightfall not exactly connecting either right now, and Sekia is going to be able to hold strong. The Satchel is going to force the shot to miss and cause a TP out. Lucky tries to re-aggress, but Starry is able to find that pick. Instead, Juna finds the timing as well towards Garage, and this time around tactical throwers, they are not messing around. They get the two initial picks right off the bat, and off the back of that, it's going to be ID Ruby in this position of having to try to retake in this 3v5 situation, not knowing where the tactical thrower players are coming in for lurks. They already did spot Juna outside garage. She's going to be coming back around towards B. Envy tries to make a play, but the crossfire being held between Starry and Kaya is just too much right now. It's all down to just Sekia. She does have that tour de force to work with, but with this one way in, not going to be able to do much as finally the lurk materializes from Juna, and it's going to be a flawless attacking round as tactical throwers equalize scores.
Recently, I've been loving seeing the lurk from Juno, whether that's showing presence on A, showing presence on C, but then, making their way into garage. So you never know where Juna is coming from. Juna is just always sneaking behind you. But then again, we're also going to be seeing another attempt towards potentially C with a split push of 2 going towards garage, and 3 of those on ID Ruby being close to C as well.
Indeed. After finding so much difficulty on that, A side, C is going to be where they're going. The showstopper invested. It's going to be a little bit of a Rosa ult. Despite that being the fact, though, they managed to get all of these kills. The flash is good, but the shots are not. And unfortunately, Nina is going to be taken out as well. What looked like a round that could go either way is quickly going to swing in the direction of tactical throwers yet again on the C side. They're not able to hold against the barrage of 4 of these players simultaneously pushing in, and the one way is going to be possibly re-smoked off as well, making it even more difficult for this possible retake to come in. I think the right call might be at this juncture to save, but they're not going to do it. They're still going to try it out. Kaya is ready for the shot, and Lucky is being sprayed down. Unfortunately, it is going to be Seder this time walking in through garage and finding that pick, and tactical throwers, they take the lead here with a second flawless. What a great round coming in from them, and off the back of that, they're going to be having a thriving economy. Almost every single player for tactical throwers, in fact, are going to be capping out here.
Every time I look at tactical throwers economy right now, I'm currently wishing, well, I wish I was playing like them whenever I play Valorant. They are about capped on their economy. Meanwhile, ID Ruby a little bit less on the economy, now going with the Guardian Stinger and 2 Deagles.
Ooh, Seder yet again being able to find that first blood as Envy. At this point, they expect Envy to get aggressive. They're just waiting for a play from her. And once they get that first blood, the map is open for them to go anywhere they like. However, 2 players from the side of ID are getting a little bit aggressive. Lucky goes unchecked here. Not going to be spotted. Never mind. As I said, that the Prowler is going to connect at the perfect time. And it is going to be Seder able to do a little bit of damage. Starry cleaning up that kill as well. It is all down to just K here. The Haunts will be tossed right in her face, and it's going to be incredibly difficult for her. Tries the TP out, but it's not going to work out. It's all up to just Sekia as well as Nina here in this 2v4 retake. Not much in the way of guns to really work with here either, just sheriffs. Sekia does have that headhunter watching the angle for a possible peek, but tactical thrower, they're just gonna be content to play a postmatch on the site. All 4 of them are going to be here, and I don't see how ID Ruby can walk into this crossfire and get away. Sekia though hits a nutty shot, but it's going to come down to just Sekia right now, going to the double peek from Kaya and Starry. Not going to be able to connect that last crucial 2 shots, and just like that, tactical throwers, they find 6.
And there we are seeing the eco round coming into play with ID Ruby, but now it is okay because they're able to buy on this round. Yet if they were to lose this round coming up, then again their eco would be something to worry about. And also, Zach, then again, we're also seeing so many ultimates in the hands of ID Ruby, but if tactical throwers were to get an elimination or an orb, they'd be able to match that up as well.
Yeah, they have 4 ults online on this particular round. It's their full buy. They have all the cards in their favor, and off the back of that, it's going to be a 2-person push coming in towards C long. However, it's going to be the crossfire between Starry and Eos. They want to catch things out here. Eos goes in for a little bit of a whiff, but it is going to be the trade coming in very quickly. So tactical throwers, despite losing a player, do still have the personal advantage. However, the player they lost was going to be their controller, so no more smokes are going to be available right now. That's why they're going to be booking it as fast as they can towards the C side, knowing that it is MC and that's where the push came from. It is going to be the Seekers invested as well. Like you mentioned, EOS getting that ultimate online after those 2 kills, giving away information, a beautiful shot from Sekia to be able to take down her counterpart. That is going to bring things back down to a much more manageable 3v3. It is going to be EOS who spots out one player in Garage. They know that the Omen is going to be towards the CT, but Satyr is ready for it. Gets both of those picks. Can she get the third as well? Yes, she does. Has a showstopper ready to go to boot, and it looks like Tactical Throwers are on track for an 8-4 half.
And here we are seeing Satyr showing up once again, not on Jet, but on Raze with a 12-5-1 KDA. And something I've noticed a lot about ID Ruby is that they are aggressive players, but Tactical Throwers, they know that. They know ID Ruby are aggressive, so they play back, they play slow on first half, but then once they get a hold of site, they rush it down, they pour down utility on the team, and they're able to protect the spike.
You do see an early fight for orb control, and it is going to be Sekia who gets it. That's going to give her access to that tour de force, a very deadly weapon that last time around she didn't have much of a chance to use, unfortunately. This time around, hopefully things are different. Looking at Tactical Throwers themselves, they're going to be going in for a little bit of patience, perhaps yet again waiting for the push from Envy, but this time around, there's going to be no such thing. Envy's just going to be waiting it out patiently towards the C side here. It is going to be C where the execute seems to be coming along with the garage area as well. Kaya on the lurk, but all the other players from the side of Tactical Throwers are going to be grouped up towards this area. The garage is going to be cleared with the help of that Trailblazer. Satyr, though, with the Showstopper as well as their entire arsenal is ready to get into action. Isanina with a Rolling Thunder as well, looking to make things even more difficult. But all of this is just a fake, because look at where the spike is.
There.
Saki.
They're gonna make their way towards A, given that Chamber is the only one holding down A, so
30 seconds
or
left.
closer to B and C. Tactical Throwers typically have almost a free sight here if they're able to take Chamber down.
Ooh, the tour de force, unfortunately not going to be able to find value, as the Paranoia will push that player off the angle before she can really get anything. The spike tap is hurt, the ult is invested, but there is still enough time for the spike to go down. The Neon ultimate, though, that might cause damage, that might cause things to stop, and it's all going to come down to just Satyr here in this 1v3. Does have her entire kit to work with her before she can even pull out that showstopper. It's going to be Envy who connects that headshot, and Tactical Throwers, they fall apart in those last 10 seconds as they get converged on by multiple ultimates, the Neon ultimate, the Chamber tour de force, all of it just being thrown at them, along with that breach hitting, the Rolling Thunder hitting perfectly. So that is going to be a beautiful round coming in from ID Ruby. And honestly, 5-7 is not bad on defense. For Tactical Throwers, looking at the statistics, they do have a little bit more of an advantage when it comes to these attacking rounds on this on this particular map. They have a 53% win rate compared to 36 on defense. So now that they are on defense, I'm interested to see how exactly it's going to pan out here.
Absolutely, Zach, and like I mentioned before, you're seeing so much utility getting poured down by both teams, ID Ruby and Tactical Throwers, especially with a breach on their team and a Sky. It's just Flash Central.
Oof. Again, there's going to be picking it down towards the sea. An awkward interaction in the smoke as Tari and Envy just run past each other. But the first bloods coming in are good. EOS is finally able to stop the bleeding along with Juna. These initiator players going huge right now for Tactical Throwers. Juna finding 3 on the round already. 4, in fact, is going to be what she gets. And what looked like a round that was starting off really badly for ID Ruby is brought, for Tactical Throwers, is brought back from the brink by Juna. Being able to push out and get 4 kills there is absolutely insane. Even in that first round, if you remember, she almost did clutch out a 1v3. She's making up for that. She's saying, look, I know I didn't get the 1v3, but I get a 4k this round. Is that okay? And yes, Juna, it is more than okay. That is a phenomenal round for Tactical Throwers off the back of that pistol.
And here we are seeing Juna with the lurks, with the aggression, all of the above, and just making sure that she gets all of those picks done. But then again, we're also going to be seeing ID Ruby making their way a little bit towards Garage to be. Meanwhile, somebody on C holding down the defense with a Judge. How can that come into play here?
I'm not sure about the judge, but this crossfire between Juna and Seder is looking unstoppable right now. The spike is going to be dropped to boot as well, and it's all down to just Envy, left alone without any teammates or friends in this 1v5 situation. Does have a sheriff to work with, so perhaps some headshots could be a favor, but tactical throwers, they're getting antsy. They're getting eager to find a pick right now as they go forward. Envy with the sheriff trying to find the head perhaps, but like you mentioned, that's how the judges are going to work out, Saki. That's exactly how it's going to be working out. Sorry, finding the last pick of the round, and another flawless for tactical throwers who are looking like they found their footing on this particular map.
There we are seeing the 200 pump coming in from Starry. On to Envy at window, but Envy with the Deagle in hand. You know, I thought I would see a Deagle Demon coming into play, but then again, we're also seeing Starry with the same old judge. K's following the footsteps of the mother of shotguns with a shorty and just bonusing here.
Here.
Yeah, the judge might still come into play though, like, and on these bonus rounds especially, it can be one of those really deadly weapons that you want to watch out for. Kay and Lucky are waiting a little bit to see if tactical throwers are going to be going for any kind of aggression like they did themselves, but nothing's going to be forthcoming. A is going to be where Envy has already gotten A-long control, so that is going to be a big W for them. But with the utility being invested, it is going to be the fake souls and the rotation coming in. C is going to be where the execute is, but it's going to be Kaya who's holding this off angle with this headhunter here. Does manage to get one pick onto K. TP's out after taking a little bit of damage, and that's going to open up the C side, but the first blood has already gone in favor of tactical throwers. The second as well, Kaya with the headhunter looking pristine here. She would have gotten a third as well if she hadn't run out of bullets. I believe in that strongly, but nevertheless, Sekya managed to just bring it back with a counter frag, and it's going to come back to a 3v3. The rifles dropped aren't exactly accessible, considering that these players are going to be on site. Seder, though, not afraid to satchel in, will be able to clear out this close angle first. He catches the chamber. EOS with two already. It's going to come down to a 1v1. Starry through the smoke doing a lot of damage to the breach, but the clock is ticking, and the smoke that was put down is actually not working in Starry's favor. Aware of the possibility that the breach might be somewhere close, but not looking in the right direction. Nevertheless, turns around at the right time, and that's going to be the bonus going in favor of tactical throwers who find their way to double digits and are looking closer and closer like this is going to be a 2-0.
And there we are seeing Starry shaking her head. No, you are not defending this. I am going to defuse. I dropped my judge for an actual AR just to get this spike defused. But now we're going to be seeing Kaya here, Zach, with the operator in hand, and ID Ruby going on that eco round.
Yeah, that full buy not exactly working out in their favor, and yeah, like you mentioned, it's going to be a little bit of an economic deficit coming in for them. A timeout as well being called by ID Lucky to figure out what exactly they're doing wrong, and it's less of a question of what they're doing wrong as opposed to what exactly tactical throwers is doing right. And you know, even though things come down to an equal situation on that retake, it's just that tactical throwers, their utility usage and their coordination is pretty phenomenal right now. Their trades are great as well. Like a lot of these times you see ID Ruby players dropping right off the bat, and the trade is not forthcoming because of the positions that the tactical thrower players are positioned in. They're not able to trade it out really. Like for example, the last round we saw Kaya holding that angle with the headhunter, getting a pick, TPing off, and getting a second as well after re-peeking before finally being shut down. That's not the kind of situation you want in your bonus rounds when you are going up against just headhunters as well as specters. But nevertheless, a really rough round that just got over for ID Ruby. They are going to be opting to go in for a very broken buy here. Two stingers available. Kaya, like you mentioned, does have that operator available towards this A angle. The breach stun is going to be committed towards this long angle, but nevertheless, Kaya is not going to even be struck by it, and she is going to be able to get that first pick right off the bat. Envy as well, making her way onto site, knowing that the chamber has CP'd away. It is going to be the spike, at least coming down, but the nightfall from the player, from Tactical Throwers, is going to be invested right off the bat, and Seder is not afraid to satchel and does get shut down, but nevertheless finds that first blood. That's going to be a triple peak that Envy has to deal with, and she's not going to be able to find anything. It's all up to just Lucky here. Caught out by the Haunt is going to be wall bangs, and just like that, Tactical Throwers, they make their way to 11 and almost flawless round to boot.
And here we are, Zach. Like you said, we saw that abundant amount of utility coming out, especially with the Nightfall and all of the Fade utility showcasing where ID Lucky was on site. So we also did see that crazy movement between Satyr on Raze and Envy on Neon, just having two of these duelists being able to catch any team off guard is something to prioritize and something to keep an eye out for. But then again, we're also looking at almost a lot of utilities available for both teams, ID Ruby and Tactical Throwers. 67, only one more orb or one more elimination needed for them.
Yeah, a lot of ultimates are very close, like you mentioned, but this is really ID Ruby's last chance to prevent this map from sliding out of their control. Talking about sliding out of control, Envy runs right into the crosshairs of Eos there, who gets 2 kills somehow and still stays alive. We'll have the Seekers off the back of that and invest them. Lucky will find one of her own, but she's going to be tagged up devastatingly low. The last 2 players for ID Ruby make that win as Juna on the lurk catches out K. It's all down to Lucky here with only 20 HP to her name, and Kaya will take her down as well. This is going to be match point as well as series point for Tactical Throwers, and they're only 1 away from moving on in this bracket.
And like all Valorant players say, it is winnable. I do believe that ID Ruby could potentially get a round in, but then again, for Tactical Throwers, we are on match point, especially with Kaya the operator, and just an equal match of buys here with Seka trying to get that one orb to bring out the Tor Day Force, and especially pushing C. The two, Omen and Sky, are going to be holding it down for Tactical Throwers.
Yeah, the smoke does come down on Long, but through the smoke, Starry is able to find through 2 kills for herself. The spray is good, the Phantom doing its devastating damage, and right off the bat, it is going to be Ruby at a disadvantage here. They are going to be losing out on the Fade utility as well as the Omen smoke, so that's going to make this execute even more difficult. However, they do have the Rolling Thunder to try and salvage this round with, and that might be very important heading to this one. However, if you keep picking into Starry, she's not going to stop killing you all. It is going to be a 3k before she's finally shut down. Satyr is good for the trade though, and it is going to be a 1v4 that Envy will have to close out to make this round work. The spike is going to be dropped in an awkward position towards C-Long as well. Envy has to retrieve the spike, but also isolate these 1v1s somehow. Already you can see Eos doing their best to try and connect the shots. A lot of damage being done to Envy. The showstopper, to make things worse, is going to be invested as well. At this point, Tactical Throwers, they're just going to be running it down towards C-Long, going in for the fight, and it almost seems like Envy doesn't know what exactly to do. Popsy out, slides in, but Eos will get the shot. It's going to be Tactical Throwers who take the second map, 13-5 as well, and what a performance coming in for them. 2 incredible maps that they absolutely dominated.
Poor Envy right there, pinched between 3 players in the front and 1 players in the back. Tactical Throwers, such an aggressive team when it came down to defense, was also a very passive team when they were on attack until they got a hold onto site. Zach, what was your favorite moment?
Honestly, there were a lot of them, but for me, it probably has to just be Juna going ham on that pistol on their defense round. Despite losing 2 players, she manages to get 4 on the round and really make it work. So that was something that I really enjoyed watching. But I think a highlight moment for me, for the side of ID Ruby as well, to be fair, was their retake attempt coming in on the last round off their defense. You know, the spike was going down, they popped the Rolling Thunder, they pulled out the Tour de Force as well as every other piece of utility in their arsenal, and they managed to completely deter Tactical Throwers from finding any kind of purchase on the site, getting 4 kills before the spike is even diffused. So that is phenomenal coming in from them. We did see a lot of really good rounds, in fact, coming in from ID Ruby. It's just that overall Tactical Throwers were just so much of a stronger team.
And then again, that is 2 of the best of 3 for Tactical Throwers. So now Tactical Throwers will advance into the bracket, and ID Ruby, they played wonderfully, especially with the map that they chose, which was Haven. And again, Tactical Throwers, like you said, Haven may not have been their best map, but they were able to show up this match for Haven.
They definitely did. And talking about showing up, I think that one more player that really deserves some highlighting in this is going to be Starry. Like, we saw her spray down through the smoke. on long, but she has 12 assists to her name. Like, I'm looking at the scoreboard right now, and she was phenomenal. The paranoias that she was connecting constantly, being able to smoke off angles, the one ways that she was constantly putting up on C longs to prevent the retake from really happening. Phenomenal utility usage coming in from not just Starry, but all of these players for tactical throwers. Sader, of course, on the duel list. We saw her pop off on the Jet, 29 last time, 18 this time around. But I think that has more to do with the rest of the team stepping up rather than Sader slacking off. And just like that, it is going to be a dominating performance from tactical throwers as they move forward. And look at both the maps, 13-4 and 13-5. They left like almost no room for ID Ruby to really play around with.
No crumbs allowed for ID Ruby. Tactical throwers made sure to show that they are the top dogs. They were the ones that, you cannot beat. You have to watch out for them in future matches. And then again, we did see 5 first bloods coming from Sader, like you mentioned, and again, 12 assists coming from Starry. So all players on tactical throwers were able to capitalize on every single elimination, every single ultimate and ability that they had going on there.
They did, and they also managed to really work on those trades. Like tactical throwers, you did see quite a few lurks coming in, especially Kaya. A lot of the rounds while the rest of the team was executing towards C, she'd just be lurking around A, walking in through mid, finding a pick or two for herself before finally being traded out. But even after that first lurk that you expect, tactical throwers, they kept sending the lurks back around on their attacking half. Like multiple rounds, you saw Judah and Sader reaggressing back through Garage to catch players off guard. I think this happened like 3 rounds in a row, so it just shows that tactical throwers, they definitely have their tactics down. I don't know if they should really consider changing their name at this juncture.
Tactical winners. That may have to be the new name. Not throwers, definitely not that. And as for ID Ruby, they tried their best. So I'm gonna give them, what is better than Ruby, Zach? Is it like Emerald? Is it Diamond? I'm gonna call them ID Radiant. They're radiant in my heart.
Fun fact, rubies are actually the most expensive gemstones. Like a ruby is more expensive than a diamond because they're way more rare. But random jewelry facts apart, it is going to be tactical throwers who take this particular series. And what were some highlight moments for you, Saki?
I think the highlight moments here was definitely that first round of match 2 when Envy just used that neon movement, kind of like you were playing Apex a little bit, to get behind tactical throwers and try to get those picks off of them. But then again, I also loved seeing, you may not highlight whiffs as much, but personally me, it makes it feel relatable. It makes it feel like, I play Valorant, they play Valorant, we both play Valorant, and we all whiff here and there. So it's totally fine, and those are some highlights for me. How about you, Zach?
Yeah, whiff Central is going to be happening. Every time Valorant comes up, whether you're playing, I'm playing, or you even see it at the top VCT champions level. So it does happen. So if you do whiff your shot, don't worry. There's always going to be another chance coming up. But I think that is going to be it for this particular series. But before we head into number 2, I think we will be taking a short break.
Absolutely.
Faded in this dark and smoky room, with your face reflecting bright green, brights and blues. You know I kinda want to disappear with you, but don't think that is what I would usually do. It's just like I felt the heat the moment he pressed his lips up against mine. Don't wanna fuck this whole thing up like I do every time. Fire is burning through this silence. I can't take it So I drown them out at night with my TV. Try to ignore these thoughts that go back and forth inside my head. But should stop before I